and I'm cramming to get everything done right before I go to sleep, which gives me anxiety, and my anxiety makes it difficult to fall asleep. That makes me sluggish in the morning. When you get home, what you wanted to do is just relax, unwind, decompress, watch TV, put your feet up, and eat popcorn.
Is completely polar opposite of how you were just before you did it. So your brain's got to change, your physiology's going to change, and you'll feel much better. And
Hi everyone, my name is Kay Hartman, and with me as always is my husband Steve.
Hi, glad you could make it.
Welcome to our YouTube channel, Clear Echoes. For those of you who are new, I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a life coach, and this channel is dedicated to giving free advice to those who are facing life's challenges. And today we have 3 emails that we're going to try and give advice to, and we're going to start with Olivia.
Okay.
Her email says, "Hi Kay, my name is Olivia. I work as a receptionist at a local vet clinic while I try to finish my bachelor's degree online." Very good, Olivia. "My problem is motivation. After working 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, I find that it's difficult to concentrate on all the materials that I need to read, watch, and understand when I feel I have spent all my energy at work." Understandable. "I have been delayed on all of the schoolwork that I need to submit, and I'm afraid I will fail. I tried cutting back on my work hours to devote more time on my studies, but I find it's more difficult to motivate myself and concentrate during daytime when there's too many distractions, and I'm cramming to get everything done right before I go to sleep, which gives me anxiety, and my anxiety makes it difficult to fall asleep. That makes me sluggish in the morning and have less energy throughout the day. Besides, my paycheck cut is not enough to pay my rent and other bills. I don't know how others can do it. How can I motivate myself, increase my concentration and energy even after a long day of work?" Pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I was a college student, but I can relate to it. And the fact that you're working,
it is difficult, Olivia.
Difficult,
It is difficult. It's definitely not easy to work and study at the same time.
Right.
So I think you have to take time and pat yourself in the back that you are, acknowledge that you're doing a difficult task.
Yeah.
But I believe that your motivation, your lack of motivation, as you say, is tied up to your energy level. And I think that's what we need to address. And it's understandable, of course, after working, 8 hours, for 8 hours, when you get home, what you wanted to do is just relax, unwind, decompress, watch TV, put your feet up, and eat popcorn. That's very understandable. But I think what you need to do is to catch your second wind after a long day's work and you feel like, your energy level is very low. And one of the ways that you can do to catch that second wind is to move. And I know it's going to be difficult too, because like I said, after a long day's work, all you wanted to do is like to put your feet up and relax, which I think you still need to do. I think that you need to give yourself some time to decompress when you get home from work and allow yourself to rest for maybe, I don't know how much time you have, even 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And really. I don't know if you're on your feet all day at work.
Well, she said she's a receptionist, so I think she's...
or you're sitting, which is just as bad. So, do maybe some light stretching and lay down, because you need to get your body back into the way it's meant to be. Where if you're sitting all day, all those muscles are cramping up on you. You may not feel it, but in your bones, you want to loosen those up. But from what I've experienced, it does help to take what in the 80s we used to call a power nap, where you put your feet up and you lay down and you shut your eyes and listen to maybe some classical music or something you like, but very soft. You're just trying to relax and do it for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, you can meditate. Actually, the fastest way to feel relaxed is to, if you know how to meditate, it's actually very easy. It's just being aware of your surroundings. Just give yourself some time to like close your eyes and do some meditation. And then after that, after you feel like you have decompressed for the day, then it's time to move and wake up that system again. And there are several things that you can do. You can exercise if you don't have the time to, because I know that exercise sometimes would take some time.
Right.
And if you only have, like, say, 10 more minutes after 20 minutes of meditation or decompressing or relaxing, if you only have 10 minutes, you can do jumping jacks. You know, what you wanted to do is basically make that what you're trying to do is to start your heart pumping rapidly. You know, that will wake you up. You can do jumping jacks. You can do brisk walking. You can actually take a cold plunge if you have that.
Yeah.
If you have the capability of that. If you have a tub, just fill it with cold water and sit there for like 5 minutes just until you are cold, like shivering. It will wake your brain up. It actually is very good. It's very counterintuitive, which is especially for me because I lived in the Philippines, and you know, they always say that if after working you shouldn't be taking a cold shower because it's actually hard on your body. But now they're saying, and there's a lot of like scientific studies about this, you can Google it if you want, that cold plunge actually helps your body. It actually also helps in being present.
Right.
And it definitely will wake you up. You will catch that second wind that you need, the concentration and the energy that you need to start your studies.
Yeah. The other thing you might try is just break your state, turn on some music and dance.
Yeah.
Just get crazy with it. Move around a little bit.
Yep.
Get your circulation going, and I think you'll notice a definite improvement. The reason I know this is because when I'm not in the mood to clean the garage or something like that, or do a task that I'm really not looking forward to, if I turn on some music it doesn't even have to be motivating, just be fun, and that'll put your brain listening to that, which will totally change your state, and you're moving around, and what you're doing in those few minutes is completely polar opposite of how you were just before you did it. So your brain's got to change, your physiology's going to change, and you'll feel much better. And then, you know, just slow that down and try to start your studies then. But I think that's enough of a change to get your mind away from everything that happened at work, to get your body away from sitting on your tushy for 8 hours a day or whatever it is, and your back's going to feel loosened up, your limbs are going to feel loosened up, and you'll feel like a new person. I guarantee you. You don't have to resort to any weird stimulants like caffeine or Red Bull or anything like that. Just the change of state. Drink water.
The cold plunge would actually definitely do that to you as well. What you're basically trying to do is to reset your body. And those are the things that you can do. You can dance. You need to get your heart pumping. But of course, before you do this, if you have any health issues, of course, it's advisable to ask your doctor if these are things that you can do. But you are trying to reset yourself or reset your body, and you can obtain that by getting your heart pumping.
if you do have health
dancing,
issues,
running. Yeah, dancing, running, brisk walking,
yeah,
cold plunge.
yeah. If you do have health issues where you can't do that, or you just don't feel the energy, just listen to the music and get something moving. Get something moving,
Yeah.
even if it's not making your heart beat. You're still gonna change your state, and that's what you're trying to do to get that feeling of work out of your brain and be ready to take in some new, fresh stuff with your studies.
Right. So the next thing that she's asking is to improve her concentration. And this is a problem for a lot of people right now, I feel like. Even for me, I find myself distracted all the time, especially if you're working on your computer. It's very easy to I'm getting tired of reading this. Let me go and jump into Facebook or to YouTube or to TikTok. And those shorts, I'm telling you, those shorts on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook are very hypnotizing, that you'll watch one and it will just take, half a minute, and then you'll go to another and go to another. By the time that you realize that you are distracted, it's been like 30 minutes. So try to eliminate all the distractions from your room, from the space of your study.
I would suggest that as soon as you walk in the door. You don't get on Facebook, you don't get on TikTok, you don't turn on the TV. It's your time. It's your time to take care of your mental state. It's time for you to take care of your body. It's time for you to prepare to learn, and that takes some focus. And all these, especially the electronic stuff, will take that away. And there's been lots of research that's shown that. And video games, stay away from those.
A lot of people have developed ADHD because of those short videos. And it also helped to develop a routine. When you get back home, get 10 to 20 minutes to meditate or to relax, put your feet up, give yourself some break from being at work for a long time. And then after that, you do your second wind routine, where it's either whatever it is. If you wanted to dance, if you want to do jumping jacks, if you wanted to do brisk walking, if you want to do a cold plunge, whatever is available to you and is appropriate to your health, to get that second wind, and then sit down and then start your studies, and then eliminate all of the distractions that you may have. And one of the things that I learned too, I'm also taking some classes right now, and one of the pointers that our professor told us is to do the Pomodoro effect. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, and it's where you set a timer. And the reason why this is called a Pomodoro technique is because the person who first put this out there is an Italian, and he used a tomato kitchen timer. So it's Pomodoro. But I know this is not something new, because I've heard this when I was in college. But basically, you set the timer for 25 minutes. So you just concentrate for 25 minutes. And then when the timer goes off, give yourself 5 minutes to take a break.
Yeah.
And then go at it again, another 25 minutes until 4. I don't know how long you need to study for, but you can do it 3 or 4 times, and then give yourself a longer break afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense. Break it into chunks, because that's how I've heard people, house cleaning, for instance, they recommend that you just do it and do the room for a few minutes and take a break, maybe do another room for a few minutes. You can always go back. But I think that's a great idea. The other thing that I remember back in the olden days when I was in college is they had studies that if you play classical music, it doesn't have to be loud, but it can be low, but in the background while you're studying, it helps improve concentration and memory retention. And they suggested Baroque music. I can't think of any composers at the moment that But I remember trying that, and even in one of the study rooms at the University of Georgia, that's what they were playing. They were playing that, and that helped me concentrate, and it was just a good environment.
It is. Before it's classical music, but now they have lo-fi. Have a lo-fi music on just barely where you can hear it, because in the ADHD mind, I do have ADHD. So when I'm working on something, my brain is telling me that, is this really what you're supposed to be doing? Aren't you supposed to be doing this other thing? And that's how you get distracted, because you're thinking, oh, maybe I should be doing that, instead of like continuing with what you're already doing. If you have a music on, the monkey brain of ours that tells you things that, you know, instead of concentrating on what you're doing, the music gives it structure.
Yeah, that makes sense, because just using earplugs to block out stuff may not be that beneficial, because then your brain is searching.
Yes, exactly.
For something.
The monkey brain will not stop. So the monkey brain needs some form of structure and a little bit of distraction. And I know that this is counterintuitive from what we already told her, that you need to remove all the distraction, but you need to have something structured that will take your mind off of the other things that it will try and let you realize or make you think of other things.
Yeah.
And the lo-fi music or classical music would actually do that. So you need to have that in the
I think there's studies using like white noise and variations, blue noise.
I don't know about that, because to me that is just, if I'm trying to concentrate and I have white noise in the background, it annoys the heck out of me.
Yeah, it might be to block out other ambient noises.
Well, to block out the other, but what you're trying to do is to block out the monkey mind.
Right.
You know, to improve your concentration. And like that, going back to the Pomodoro effect, that way or that technique of learning or that technique of trying to concentrate is also how you build the momentum for the motivation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they think motivation is something that when you wake up in the morning and you're motivated to do something. It's really not that. Motivation comes from momentum.
Yeah.
So when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like doing anything, just do the barest minimum that you can do to get you out of bed.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to like literally crawl out of bed, then crawl out of bed, you know.
Yeah.
The least amount of effort that you can do to get you to where your next step should be. And also that Pomodoro effect improves your memory retention. Because if you break, and that's the reason why when you're trying to do online learning, they ask you to stop where you're supposed to stop. Because, and I do this sometimes too, where if I wanted to learn something right away, I would watch it for 8 hours. And then after the 8 hours, I'm like, what did I learn? Very, very little. Very, very little. And then I find myself rewatching parts of it. And now I understand that, oh, if I actually discipline myself to doing this just 1 hour a day, number one, it makes me feel like I'm excited to do the learning, because I know that it's just going to be a short period of time. And I do find that I retain more of the information that I'm learning than sitting down and watching it all for 8 hours straight.
Yeah, that's probably the equivalent of a college student partying all semester. Then when the final exams come,
and then you cram.
They cram all night before the exam, drinking coffee and staying up and not sleeping, and so their mental state is screwed up, and their physical state is screwed up.
Yeah.
And they may be able to hold on to that knowledge or facts or points or whatever that they
for a short period of time
force themselves to learn. But it's for a short period of time.
Just until the exam is over, and then after that you ask them the same question and they're like, wait, I know this.
Which is really rough when your next class the next semester is going to use material that was presented in the class that you just taken. So
Yeah.
but
And it also helps to focus on progress more than
Yeah.
perfection.
yeah,
Yeah. So, just little by little, like I said, the motivation comes from momentum. So build that momentum and then you get your motivation. But in your case, your motivation is tied up to your energy level. So you have to increase that energy and catch your second wind after your work, and then try to, eliminate everything that will make you distracted, your phone, computers,
Yeah.
and just make sure that you have something where you can access a little bit of music in the background, if you can do that. But it's really up to a person, because there are also people who doesn't want to have any kind of sound whatsoever when they're studying.
right, yeah. I can
you
understand that.
Yeah, that's why they go to the library, so that it's like
Yeah.
the most. But like I said, if you have a monkey mind like most people, a little bit of music will actually ease that monkey mind that will tell you shouldn't be concentrating on this, you should be working on this is not what you're supposed to do, you have to do this, oh, you forgot this. I do that a lot, and that's my ADHD mind. And
Yeah.
I find that, if I listen to music, a lo-fi music, or sometimes if I listen to somebody who's talking, which is like very weird sometimes,
Yeah.
that just somebody like monotonous, like listen to, I turn on CNN just to listen, but I don't really understand what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
turn on the golf channel or something. And
Yeah, that too.
Something that's very
something boring.
boring.
Although something that's boring but will not make you fall asleep.
That's true. Yeah. I used to have a friend that said, "Yeah, if you want to take a nap, watch the golf channel."
Yeah, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that energy that you just got from
C-SPAN might work.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that energy that you just got from like you're doing your second wind, doing your exercise or whatever it is that you do to get your heart pumping. But enough to soothe your brain so that it will not concentrate on other things instead of like what you're supposed to be concentrating on.
And just know you can do this.
Yeah.
You've got it in you. You just have to find the avenue. So don't give up. Don't get too frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, just have confidence in yourself and think about all you've achieved up to this point.
Yes, that helps too. Focus on the progress that you've achieved up to this point. That will get you motivated too.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Olivia, well, good luck on your studies, good luck on your career, and I hope that all the things that we've discussed here will help you achieve the concentration, the motivation, and the second wind that you need to get this through. And you can do it, girl.
Yeah, you got this.
You can do it, girl. All right?
There you go.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thanks.
Thanks for sending us your email.
On the next episode of Clear Echoes,
And I can't help but overhear their conversation in the kitchen about choosing an engagement ring. At first, I thought they were talking about someone else's engagement ring, but I realized that they are talking about choosing an engagement ring for us. I got really concerned about this that I immediately excused myself and made up some lame reason to leave. It's been more than 2 weeks since this incident happened, and I haven't gone back to her house since. She's been sending me text messages and I respond back, but I'm not ready to see her because I don't know what to say. What should I do?